It's been an interesting week, and I wanted to start by talking about some of the influences that are happening astrologically, because I think that's very impactful, and it's been a big buzz, and people have been talking a lot about it. What they call stellium in Aries, and it's a configuration of seven celestial bodies in the house of Aries. And what a stellium is defined as three or more celestial bodies that cluster and kind of into one sign in the zodiac, which creates a high concentration of energy that amplifies not only that sign of the zodiac, but all the different influences that are in that sign of the zodiac. So the Aries stellium, seven celestial bodies that are clustered there. And so we have Mars, Mercury, the Sun, Neptune, Saturn, and then the new moon. So this is being called a once in a lifetime event. So what does that mean? So in the house of Aries is the beginning of the movement of the zodiac, is the first house. So it is a resetting of everything. So it's a beginning of a new cycle. So it represents intuition, action, and identity. Aries is ruled by Mars, which is about the courage, drive, and like just this aggressive energy. And then the Sun, which is also in Aries at this point, represents your core identity, your life force, who you are as a being. Mercury is about thinking, communication, and decisions. Neptune is about deeper vision and this incredible visionary energy. It's also about illusion. And then, of course, we have Saturn, which is about structure, limits, and reality checks. And then that new moon is a reset point for the lunar cycle. So you have seven celestial planets lined up into this stellium in Aries in the first house of the zodiac. And this is creating a very powerful kind of influence. Aries is a birth energy. It's the beginning of a new cycle. It's to push something new out. You know, that raw energy of Mars, that's about that self-definition and who I am when I act boldly in the world. Very strong, intense, independent energy. And the Aries itself is a fire sign. So we're looking at passion, urgency, courage, risk-taking. Now, this all sits, remember, in the energy of the fire horse, which is also momentum, a double yang fire energy moving forward. So you have a stellium in Aries, a fire sign, which is all about rebirth and a new cycle setting forward. And then you have this energy that's supporting this in the year, which is all about momentum. So you're going to probably feel this strong urge to act. And you may have reduced patience for overthinking, but there'll be this increased kind of confidence and impulsiveness. And this is all about pushing you into taking initiative, moving forward, and doing this. And the new moon lands directly on Chiron, and that influence is about the wound and the medicine. So you have to understand that Chiron has been in the house of Aries since 2019, February. So this has been a whole cycle that has happened in Aries with Chiron. And so the moon landing back on Chiron is kind of bringing up this energy from February 2019 and this whole cycle about being seen, the right for you to take up space and own yourself in movement in the world. It's also about wounds of self-trust and self-definition and independence. So think back to February 2019 and what were you going through? What did you initiate around these themes of being seen, of taking up space, of dealing with self-definition and trust and independence? Was there a new path that you stepped into in 2019? Was there a risk that you took or that you avoided? Was there a moment where you felt vulnerable and that you exposed or called yourself forward in a way that you were really unsure about? Because this week has the same thread of that energy. And since the new moon is landing on Chiron, it's completing this cycle of that thread that started in February of 2019. In 2019, this was a new cycle. It was something you started. You have had 7 years of context and proof and something to observe about how powerful it was for you to choose yourself at that moment in February 2019 and what holding back may have looked like. So you're being asked to step into that same thread, but a new version of yourself. And this is without hedging, without hesitation, without fear, with the confidence of having been through the entire cycle of this self identity, of this coming forward in the world, of owning who you are. So the question you want to be asking yourself with this stellium and this specifically this energy around the new moon and this reset energy is, what would the future version of myself need to align to, need to consider, need to act in a particular way to build the path that's in alignment with my heart's desire? Things that you set forward in the world this week are going to have lasting effects. They may not show up right away, but there's going to be a big ripple effect based on the stuff that we're putting out in this week with this particular energy that's present. These influences do support some of the decisions that we're making, and maybe will even influence the way you move forward. So this is the time where you want to move forward without hesitation. You want to be clear and very intentional in the choices you're making and what you're aligning to. You don't want to go jump into something without thinking, but there's going to be a push for you to want to move forward and to do something and to move through and to forge new energy and to really stand into a part of yourself or own a part of yourself and recreate yourself in a new version. It's kind of like a shedding and a rebirth of who you are and in your identity, in your ownership, and in the movement of that identity moving forward.